This. Oh, I got to do something first, Bob.
Oh,
We're
yes,
in the
please.
wrong places. Yeah. Okay. Let me try to start the intro again. I derailed a little bit, so I need to get back on track. This is the weekend or the week where people think FT8 is too slow and FT4 is too slow. But don't worry, we'll be as long as ever. That sounded a lot better in my head than it did.
No, that was good. If it weren't for the little slip up at the beginning there, that would have been a perfect opening.
Yep. So, we're going to talk about the YL POTA challenge. Is that what YL POTA party? If I can just look on top of the screen here, it's actually here, which you are putting on, Shannon. Looking forward to hearing about that, and that's going to be on the International Women's Day on March 8th, isn't it?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So we're going to hear about that. Tobias will pop in at some point. He's on his way back from Norway because I think at least for 4 of us present, the Ham Radio Week thing will be somewhat similar. So Kjetil, how's your Ham Radio Week been?
Oh, it's been very fun. By the way, last time we heard from Tobias, I think he was using the taxi driver Charlotte and I had in Milton Keynes, who had no idea where anything was and uses Google to get around. So hopefully we will see him again sometime.
Yeah, and hopefully by the end of the show.
Yes, I was like, no, I've had a very, very nice week. And I got a tiny bit of pictures here, and I'll skip the most of the ham eating thing, but I'm going to talk about something here. So this is an activation that 4 of us did in Stavanger this week. That was Espen, Lima Alpha 2 Uniform Sierra Alpha, Stian, Lima Bravo 4 Hotel Kilo, and Charlotte, Lima Bravo 5 Quebec Kilo, and myself. We did a first activation of this lovely little national recreational area with this fireplace in the middle, a JPC 12 here, 2-meter antenna on the side. That was really nice, and we had a blast activating there, and good QSO rate and everything. And Charlotte and I activated another POTA on the way there as well. So that was fun until the first one was done, and there was a group of scouts that came and that they were supposed to play around in there, like 45-year-old kids flying around the radio. So I had a tiny bit of a chat with them and found out that they would play outside instead. I mentioned something having a large amount of very expensive gear mounted up there, and the leaders decided they should go somewhere else.
This is the first time I've heard the JPC 12 being referred to as very expensive gear.
Yes, but they didn't need to know that. So that was fun. On the ham meeting, gave out, I think, 80 POTA stickers, lots of bunkers on the air, and polo stickers, lots of TEHRS stickers. So that was nice. This is Jürgen's background, I think. All of us who are regulars on the show met up. Really nice. It's the first time the 5 of us that's been here for a few years met up. So that was nice. Very nice. Morten doing a QSO on his homemade antenna.
I want to correct you there. You're saying that I'm doing a QSO. Technically, I wasn't doing a QSO because I can get the QSO.
Okay, good enough. So that was fun. And then I published a book together with Lima Alpha 9 Delta Sierra Alpha. And many of the people in chat here, and you, Bård and Morten, have also been in that book, Charlotte as well, talking about stories about portable radio in Norway. So that's really fun. And talked a bit about the book last week. But now it's out there, and I think it was really fun to see it in physical. Yeah, that book. And then at the end, we had a nice little chat, just breaking up and summarizing like what we had there. So lots of nice people meeting up on from the Discord and community around here. So I really love that. And we did have the challenge, which I think somebody else will talk a bit more about, but this is Tobias's creation of an antenna. Very nice and purple. Important fact. And then, I think that's it basically for me.
Yeah, but that's not a half bad ham radio week. Marion, how's your ham radio week been?
My ham radio week has been really nice. As most everybody knows, my husband and I are both active, and it just seemed like he's had a series of contests that he really wanted to focus on. So I've been kind of support staff, and next month is my month, though. I'll have a different tune to sing next month. But so this has been a week of radio adjacent things, planning for my club's YL POTA Day. We got together and making our flyers, getting all the details and everything for that. Also, there's a YL Worldwide Award, WWA, coming. So there was some planning to do for that. And I'm a blogger for my club, so things there. So as far as my ham radio week, this has been a week of preparation. And I think the next week or two will be as well. But look out come March. I plan to put in a lot of QSOs when March comes around. So that's my ham radio week. Not real exciting, but I want to hear about this more about this ham meeting. When you guys posted that group picture, I just immediately thought, oh, that's my team. That's my team.
Yeah, I was going to say we were all of the team members except for you, Marion.
It would have just been spectacular to be there. But it's great just watching you guys have fun. I mean, that's what attracted me to the European Ham Radio Show is the camaraderie and the jokes and the friendly banter and all of that. And it was just great to see you guys having such a great time. That made my heart happy. So I was checking the Discord for every little bit, as it was coming across, and I want to hear more about this challenge. And I know we will. So it's been a really good ham radio week, but really just a lot of prep, a lot of setting up, a lot of getting ready for March, which is going to be, I have a club presentation as well in March. So yeah, just everything's hitting at once. So it's been a good week, not exciting, but a good week.
Yeah, that sounds good. And thanks for the kind words, though. I mean, I'm a little bit out of words because, yeah, we had a lot of fun. And it's good that other people enjoying seeing us having fun, though. That's a byproduct, I think, of us having fun. And at least our banter seem friendly. So,
yeah.
Jürgen. How's your ham radio week been?
The ham radio moment of my week was, of course, that one. Yeah, it was great to be there a second time. So, as you said, Morten, last year, let's make it a tradition. So let's see what happens next year. Yeah, it was an absolute fantastic, great weekend. Even though I have arrived late, but hey, okay. It is like it is, but nevertheless, fantastic. Met so many nice people, and we had so much fun. And that's the main thing: having fun, meeting nice people. Yeah. There's nothing else. So at least there's nothing to top the weekend.
I'm going to say
nothing can top the weekend.
Nothing can top that weekend. And it looks like Steve is considering coming next year. So we'll be happy to have you there, Steve.
Yeah, cool.
Yep. So that's it for this week, Jürgen?
Yep.
Shannon, how's your ham radio week been?
I thought you guys started with me. So, I haven't really been on the air too much lately. Like I said, my station at home has been down. I was going to get on my UK station yesterday. And, I kind of got distracted. We had a big snowstorm a few weeks ago. It actually, I got stuck in Florida for like 4 extra nights because I couldn't get a flight home. And now we're going to get another 18 to 24 inch snowstorm tonight into tomorrow. So it's not the best conditions to go out and fix your antenna. It's not the best conditions to go out and do POTA. But I've been filling my time with promoting my ham radio event, the International Women's Day YL POTA Party, going on a bunch of different YouTube live streams besides the ones that I normally do. I have a show every Friday on my channel, and N1JUR Amateur Radio, Brew and Activate, where we basically talk all things POTA. I'm part of the Live Free and Ham crew. I'm part of Northeast Ham Radio, so I've been doing all their live streams, and now I'm doing this live stream with you guys, which I am so pleased and honored and privileged to be able to come here and share in the love of amateur radio, no matter what country you're from.
That's great, and we're looking forward to hearing more about that Wild POTA party. I think it's a great initiative to get stuff like that happening.
Yeah, like Marion said, and like you guys, you like to have your meetups, you like to meet in person and have the friendship, the camaraderie, the friendly banter. And it's like the radio almost becomes secondary at that point, and the real focus is just hanging out and having fun and making friends. And the radio just sort of becomes like a way to facilitate that, or an excuse to get together and hang out. Because that's the part of ham radio that I like, is the hanging out, the talking, the laughing, the joking, the eating and drinking. So any excuse to get together more, I'm all for it.
Absolutely. So we'll hear more about your event in 3 more people. And I tried to shuffle people around, so Tobias would be next, but I noticed that I've shuffled everyone around pretty much. So we'll just live with that. Tobias, welcome. I saw in Discord that you had to pay another $10 for the scenic route with your taxi trip home there.
Yeah, well, this is what happens if you pre-order the cab to the airport. It's always cheaper than if you take the cab from the airport back home, right?
Yep. So,
but anyway, I made it, and as you can see, I didn't change the pullover, so I'm still fresh off the plane.
Yep. But good to have you here. I was kind of worried that you wouldn't make it. I see Vidar has a question for you straight out of the gate here, Tobias. Did you pay VAT for that old Kenwood upon taking it into Germany?
No, I didn't. I spent some more hours on research, and there's a Freibetrag. So basically, you can bring a certain amount into the country without having to pay taxes. So I think it's €430. And as the Kenwood was way below that, I'm fine.
Yep. And I see that Almaro has become a YouTube member. Thank you, Almaro. And great to hang out with you this weekend. I hope you had a good time at the Hamfest.
Yeah. And I got some last minute merch as well, as you can see. Maybe.
What
not.
is it, a moose?
Of course it is a moose.
Yeah. That is great. How's your ham radio week been, Tobias? Did we lose Tobias?
He froze.
Yeah. How about you talk about? He's back now.
How can I free? Okay. Anyway, I think I had the same ham radio week as everybody here. It was awesome. We had some good fun. So I don't think I have to repeat myself. I did not film as much as I wanted to film for making videos, because I was more focused on the fun bit and not on the filming bit. But I filmed the antenna challenge that Charlotte gave us. So I have to pre-edit that a bit and then hand it over to Kjetil for the awesome final edit.
I don't think we need to pre-edit. Kjetil is happy to do all the work.
Yeah, just send him 20 gigabytes of unedited videos and let's see what happens. Right?
Yeah. Bring it on.
I was going to convert mine to RAW before I send it, actually. So
I'll just put everything into AI and let that sort it out.
Yeah.
Right? For those who wonder, that video will be actually posted on our YouTube channel as a normal video.
Yep.
So,
on the TEHRS channel. So
maybe
but
we can do a live, like one of those live events where we will be in chat and commenting and so on. If we don't get lazy enough to do that.
we'll see what happens. But first of all, it needs to be edited, and I think we had at least 5 different cameras filming that event. So
Yes.
I
it
think
is.
the target should be before the Black Forest event, right?
Yep.
You have to have it ready before that.
So it's urgent.
This?
Well, it depends who you're talking about. Anything else this week, Tobias?
Let me. The weekend has been an absolute blur, and I don't think I got any ham radio done the week before. So Monday to Friday, because I had a bit of a crisis at the day job. So I just sorted it out on Friday, and then packed everything, and then it was off to the airport on Friday. Sorry, I sorted on Thursday. And off to the airport on Friday. See, I'm completely confused, but
yeah. And you made your first POTA activation today.
Not my first POTA activation, but my first very quick one. Yeah, it helps when you have a call sign LB0 Foxtrot India, then people are answering you much. People have you in ham alert and so on. If I call CQ, I need like 2 hours when I'm having a good day, yeah, and if I have a bad day, then I don't make the activation.
Yeah, and I just want to say, Tobias, that we can tell people here in the chat. We have 41 people in the chat, so everyone go ahead and put Tobias in your ham alert, and you'll have a lot more successful activations going ahead.
Thank you for that.
And I see N1, that was the wrong one. Let's see. N1JUR says that we need to have these guys on Live Free and Ham. And yeah, we could probably do that if that's in a time frame where it's possible for us to fit that in, either with our not being when we're at work or when it's nighttime over here.
Like 3 a.m. or 2 a.m.
Yeah, when I started out doing ham radio YouTube, I was in a couple of US shows, and I stayed up until 3 a.m. to be on the show, or I got up at 2 and got on the show and got back to bed, and that's not.
If it's not on a weekday, then it's okay.
Yeah, even if it's a weekday, I don't mind. That's not too dangerous. You can sleep later on. So it's not like we have day jobs, so we need to take care of, is it?
You just have to get your priorities right, Bob. Then everything's fine, right?
Yeah.
So
you see, there's friendly banter going on, Shannon. Here, you're all a bit crazy.
But let's move on to Bob here. How's your ham radio week been?
Well, some of it has been the same as the rest of, most of us, I'm guessing. I don't think I've been on the show for 2 weeks now. There's been 2 shows I've missed, if I remember correctly. So
I think it's 1 show you missed, but perhaps 2.
Was it 2? I don't know. That's really not important. But yeah, I've been having fun for the last 1, 2, or 3 weeks. I've been having fun. I've been doing LoRa things. I've been doing Mesh Core, a little bit of Meshtastic, and also LoRa APRS, and that's sort of the theme of what I brought to the ham meeting as well. My little table up there, or our little table actually, because we have the 2 tables next to each other, Morten and I.
Yep.
Were really well.
Actually, we all had, because it was the YouTubers' corner.
Yeah, that's true, but we took up all the space. So I'm.
Yeah. You were the one bringing a studio to set up on your YouTubers' corner.
Only half a studio, to be fair, but yeah, I did because it was meant to be a YouTubers' corner, so I figured I'll recreate what it looks like when I make videos here at home. But I don't think anyone noticed that. I think all that people saw was all the LoRa devices that I had on there, and I got so many questions. My voice hurt by the end of Saturday. I was speaking to so many people about so many interesting, cool things, and there's so much movement now. There's so many people interested in different sorts of LoRa projects, and things is happening at a phenomenal pace. Pace. Sorry. Just already, I think there's 2 new Mesh Core repeaters around where I live. They're just popping up out of nowhere. So great fun to speak to people, getting people enthusiastic about mesh networking. That's fun. Other than that, just meeting up with all of you. I should say that as well. That was one of the best weekends in a really, really long while. So many nice people, both in this group and also in the Norwegian ham community as a whole. It's pretty damn amazing. I don't even like people, to be fair. But going to a ham meeting, I don't think there was a single person there I didn't like, and that's pretty all right. That's with the exception of my family, that usually doesn't happen. So very, very cool weekend at the Norwegian ham meeting. So I'd recommend anyone going next year, whether or not you're from Norway or abroad. Then please do.
Speaking about people, we talked about on last week's show that people watching know who we are, but we don't know who they are. And the first guy that met me when entering the hotel, he said hi to me, like in a way like we're old friends. And then he said, well, I know who you are, but you don't know who I am.
Yeah, that can happen. Other than that, let's see. I actually did a Parks on the Air activation today at TEHRS, but that was because I needed to test a radio. As I've been saying for half a year now, I've been hinting that my 7100 is broken, trying to get Tobias to volunteer to fix it, but he's not volunteering. So I got a new one, or another one, used one. So I needed to test that today, and it works brilliantly. And this, if you haven't seen a 7100, it's an all-mode, all-band radio, and this tiny little thing is the head unit. It looks like an alarm clock that I need to mount either where my rear view mirror doesn't go, or in the center console of the car. And the rest of the radio is, of course, just a normal, huge, heavy chunk of things. So yeah, I tested that. It worked great. I think I got 15 QSOs in a rather short order. So I actually did some proper radio as well. That was good. Project for coming weeks now is to actually get that thing installed in my car, getting it a permanent home, as I said, either where my rear view mirror isn't or in the center console.
Yeah. And for those who doesn't know, Bob removed his rear view mirror in order to put a radio head there.
To be fair, I first blocked out the rear window. So it wasn't really useful for anything but makeup. And I normally don't wear makeup, so it wasn't a big deal.
Only for YouTube, right?
Only for YouTube, yes.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, but there was one more thing, since I don't think we're going to reveal the results of the the challenge. But since Kjetil showed up one of the contestants, I can show off my creation for the antenna challenge. Shouldn't come as a big surprise to anyone that this is what I made. But yeah, there will be a video. Looking very much forward to that, Kjetil. So I'll make sure to send you, as I said, I'll convert all my MPEG video to RAW and send them your way.
Upscale it to 8K and then it goes to Kjetil, right?
Of course. But yeah, I think that's, as far as video, as far as a radio week or weeks go, that's about it. So how about you, Morten?
Yeah, let's see. I think there's a bit of a theme to at least the usual people here to it. So I'm gonna share some pictures actually, and I haven't bothered to put them in order, so they're a little bit random here. But of course, it's the Norwegian ham meeting, and I got asked to hold a talk about how to get started with LoRa APRS, and I filled the conference room, which was amazing. Jørgen streamed it, so if you want to learn Norwegian, it's a crash course to Norwegian watching that talk. And I think we actually managed to make all the dealers at the Hamfest sell out all their Meshtastic gear after, or their LoRa gear after that talk. So that was really nice. This is during the antenna build. You can see that wire. I think that was meant for a kilowatt, that wire, because that guy just looked weird at me when I said we were going to put 20 watts into it, and he says that's a bit of an overkill, isn't it? And I had to admit, yeah, it was. And
that wire was meant for an Italian kilowatt, actually.
Yeah, I think so. I think you could put at least 20 kilowatts through that wire without it burning up. So it weighed a bit. Let's see here. We had the promo for our Germany meetup here. This screen is 50 square meters, so you actually had to be in the middle of the room or further back in order to scan that QR code. If I'd thought about how big that screen is, I'd probably scale it down a little bit and put more info on the slide. Met this guy first time in real life. That was really great. It was great having the whole team together. I know several of you guys have shown this picture, but we had to do a team picture when so many of us were there together. And of course, the TEHRS dinner where bringing gear and devices with antennas was mandatory. So
I failed then.
You failed, but we did have at least Laura Apress, MeshCore, and Meshtastic present at the table.
Okay.
So that was and the
So
food was good.
I suggested anyway starting restaurants on the air because that's probably the most convenient thing when you do your QSOs in a restaurant.
Yeah, that'd be great. And we were 12 people at the TEHRS dinner, so fantastic experience. This is
But were
Tobias.
you guys sending each other messages using the mesh devices at the table?
No, we couldn't because we were in 3 different mesh systems.
Oh, okay.
So this is Tobias making a QSO on his antenna project. Turns out that 75 ohm coax wound around a metal fence works really well as counterpoise. And an ashtray. Ashtray also. I'll go back to this. And an ashtray works as a radio table.
Yeah, and that fence will show up in the video as well later.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. I finally got my hands on this book, which I've been wanting since, well, way before it was published. When Walt started talking about he was writing a book, I've really been looking forward to it, and I hadn't gotten around to buying it. And there was one copy left, unfortunately damaged in transport at the League store there. So I managed to get my copy though, so I'm looking forward to reading that.
I think I got mine from. Sorry, I got mine from Amazon and also had a few kinks. So I think it's just that it's the floppy. I mean, it's not a hardcover book, yeah. So it just get some damage.
I think so. This is at the formal dinner, and as you can see, at least 3 of us didn't care too much about the live music on stage.
There's a lot of music on the stiff upper lip thing.
Yeah.
Don't do YouTube or do a short when someone's singing American
Copyright-protected
country
music,
music. You immediately
No.
get a copyright strike.
Yeah, you got that copyright strike pretty fast on your YouTube short there. Jürgen. So
Immediately.
And also, it's very clear that 3 of you didn't really care too much about the formal dress code when you see the people in the background.
No, I think I was the only one among us that wore a jacket. So
How many of you wore shorts to the dinner?
It is winter, Bob, and even though you claim that there is something called winter shorts, I don't think there really is.
Winter shorts are shorts you wear during the winter. Of course, there is such a thing.
Yep, and then it's the TNC that I bought. I opened the instruction manual for it, and as you can see, this is for modern hardware. You can use it with both the C64 and C128, with your Amiga and with your Macintosh here. So
what else do you want?
Yep, it can fit any device in my shack. And then I went out with Tobias and did a POTA today. Tested the G90 that I bought. Finally got a G90 back because I've been regretting selling mine for 4 years, but I haven't found one at a decent price point until now. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. I have a couple of antenna projects set up for the G90, so there'll be a little bit of that on my video. So this was a lot of fun doing that, and thanks to Kjetil for adding that POTA part yesterday. And the last thing is this book. It is the editors are Kjetil and Knut, and I think Knut called me on December 18th, asked if I wanted to participate and write one of the chapters in this book. It's 25 portable operators telling their story. Started in December, published in February. It's the quickest book project I've ever heard about. So thank you, Kjetil, for giving me the opportunity to become a published author. That's something I never thought I was going to say, and it felt like Christmas Eve when I got my copy there.
And thank you to you and the others in here that participated. There's plenty in chat here that's also in the book. And it's been fun. It's been hectic. Knut, Lima Alpha 9 Delta Sierra Alpha did most of the work, but it is so fun to see what people want to share in this hobby. And that's a community wide. Like it is so nice.
There's a question here before we go to the topic of today. Buy a G90 or an FT170. I don't know what an FT170 is.
What
FT710.
Yeah.
I actually talk about this in my book. About not every gear fits every purpose. So that depends on what you're going to use the radio for. Actually.
Yeah, that's. I think the distinction between these radios should be fairly simple. If you want to use it inside, you get the 710. If you want to use it outside, get the G90. Yeah.
Yep. I think that's, or if you're going to use it in your car, you can consider both. But
you can consider both for both things. But ask yourself, what's the primary use? If you're going to do Summit, don't get the 710.
No,
it's too heavy.
Yeah, if you, and also I see you mentioned here field HF ops. That depends what you mean with field. Do you drive somewhere and put a table out with a radio on it, or do you hike up a mountain? And because
I think the Norwegian definition of POTA is maybe a bit different than the US one, right?
Yes.
I think, speaking about that, Tobias, we did we activated from the car today, so not every
we did a US activation. Yeah, that's right. But if you know the photos that Kjetil is sharing with his about his favorite POTA and SOTA activation spots, you know, with the landscape and the sunsets and all the rocks and so on. I mean, that's how you should do it, maybe.
Yeah. So, how about we get on to today's topic, Shannon?
Yes.
Tell us about the YL POTA party.
All right. Well, the International Women's Day YL POTA party is something that I came up with back in 2023, I think it was. So this is the third year that I'm doing it. And basically it started because I started doing POTA activations. And I was having such a good time, and I wanted to invite another woman to come do a POTA activation with me. And then I was like, you know what? Why have it be just us? Why don't we invite all women everywhere to get together and do POTA together? So I started out just posting it online in like the Ham Radio Women Facebook page, I think it was. And so many people jumped on it. They were like, yes, that's awesome. I would totally be interested in, you know, getting together and learning more about POTA. That it just kind of grew from there. And that first year that we did it, it got on Amateur Radio Newsline, and people started sharing it on like ICOM America, Yesu pages, and it's just kind of like grown from there. So now this is going to be the third year that we're doing it. I wrote to the editors of Radcom, and they put a short little blurb about the Women's Day in the February issue of Radcom. So if you have that, it's on page number 12. And my main goal is just for people to really have fun, right? Like, don't get too wrapped up in, you know, what time is it? Like, that's the number one question that people ask me is like, what time is it? Is it UTC? Is it local time? And I just say, you know, go anytime on, you know, March 8th, your local time, and just get out there and have fun and bring a friend, you know, find another friend that maybe has never done POTA or has their license and they're not that experienced, or even if they're not licensed, right? And maybe you want to try to get them into ham radio, bring them along and show them how much fun it can be to hang out and talk to strangers on the radio from the great outdoors.
And that is, I mean, I love the idea both from showcasing that there are actually women doing ham radio, and getting it as a recruitment event. So I think you're doing things right here.
Yeah, I think a lot of women, they get their license like maybe because their grandfather or their dad did ham radio, or they get their license because their husband is a ham radio operator, but then maybe they don't really know what to do with it. And I have to say, like, when I first got licensed also, right, as a woman on the air, and you're mostly talking to other men, and they're mostly talking about what their station setups are, like, you might have a little bit of mic fright or shyness, right, because you don't really know how to relate to, these other people on the air. You don't know as much about your station as they do. You haven't been in the hobby as long, and you might be like a completely different age group than them, right? Like, for myself, I'm 42, so I'm considered like a young ham, right? A lot of other ham radio operators are in their 60s, 70s, 80s or more. So to try to find like common ground to talk about, sometimes it's a little bit difficult. But in doing Parks on the Air, because you can choose how you're going to activate, right? You can either just do quick signal reports, you can sit there and rag chew if you want. It takes some of that pressure off of trying to find things to talk about. So you're able to kind of like become a little bit more confident in calling CQ, in working pileups, picking out call signs, things, and you get more confident in learning about your station, right? Because you're setting it up and you're taking it down every time. So you kind of know a little bit more what antenna you're using, what power you're using, what radio you're using. And POTA also just makes ham radio more visible to other people, right? Like when I'm sitting there and I'm setting up my station and people are coming by, and sometimes they're just looking at you, but sometimes they come over and talk to you and they're like, what are you doing? Are you doing CB? Or, are you, sometimes people like, they know that it's amateur radio and they're like, I've had a couple people when I was out on POTA, and they were like, oh yeah, I have my license, but I haven't used it for like 10 years. And I didn't even know that anybody was doing ham radio around here anymore. So, then I'm able to, kind of give them some more information. I give them my card, and I tell them about some local 2-meter nets in the area where they can, meet some other like-minded, friendly people and help them, to keep up in the hobby and be as active as they want to be.
And that's a great effort. And we have Marion on stream as well, because let me see if we can flip this around. Marion,
Yes.
you're managing this for your club, aren't you?
I am. Yeah. Part of what Shannon was talking about really resonated with me. You guys know my story, but Shannon doesn't. That I got licensed way back to impress my boyfriend, who has now been my husband for 35 years. And once I had a boyfriend and a husband, I sort of forgot about ham radio, and he kept my license up until the beginning of 2024. And I thought, okay, I'm going to get active now. And there were 2 women in my club who have just become great friends, and they love POTA. And I'll be honest, I have a competitive streak. When I learned about ham radio, I immediately went to contesting. And, you can do ham radio your own way, right? There's nothing wrong. Every entry point is a good entry point. But my friends were saying, you need to come out with us. You need to come out and do a POTA. And about the time you had your first International Women's POTA party, they talked me into it. They roped me into it. And in Maine, it's a little dicey in March. So we were freezing cold, Tobias. Some people do POTA out when it's cold in the US. And it was freezing. But we were out there for quite a while. We had a great time. Just like Shannon said, hanging out was just really a fun part of it. 2024, the weather was horrendous. So we worked from home. Because it was just like this weekend, there's a blizzard coming. Sometimes you just can't deal with it. But we're hoping for good weather this year. and we're making an all-out effort. We have started the Women Operators of Maine, which anybody can be a part of, but just trying to get women within driving distance, if we can, to get together. And so we are really advertising. We do have a time frame. We're going to start at 11, go till 2, longer if people are there. And we've been sending out invitations, putting it here and there on different Maine Ham Radio Society things. So we're hoping, we're trying to do a lot of person-to-person contacting, and we're hoping to get a nice group. And of course, we'll put the photos and stuff out there as well. But POTA is such a good opportunity to slow down, like Shannon said. Again, I came at ham radio at first with contesting, not that I'm good at it, but I enjoyed the kind of the chaos of it. And my friends, every now and again, when we're doing a POTA, will tap me on the shoulder and say, Marianne, we're doing POTA. We're not doing a contest. You can slow down. You can talk to people. It's okay. And it's kind of a running joke with us. But yeah, it's my club. We do a POTA party for the club every fall and invite people and do the same sort of thing. A lot of support for women hams in my club. So we should have 5 or 6 of us at least, and maybe some more. So we're pretty excited about it.
Great. And what are your what do you think, Shannon? Is this a mostly US event, or do you feel that it's a worldwide event at this point?
Well, Parks on the Air has really, I've seen it grown even in the past year or two since I started activating, where there's so many more POTA parks being added every day in the UK, in Europe. More people from, Europe and the UK are hunting the POTA parks here in the US and also activating their own POTA parks. So I'm really hoping that we can start to grow the program a little bit more internationally, especially since meeting Charlotte, and she's so into POTA too. I hope that, she'll be out there on March 8th, also activating a park and, getting together with maybe some other women in the UK. And that's another reason why I wanted to get the article in Radcom as well. To try to get more international women involved in activating POTA parks and getting on the air. And, I think we mentioned there was another event that's also coming up the same week as the International Women's Day POTA Party, which is this YLWWA, the YL Worldwide Award, which is put on through the Ham Award website. And I guess they had another event back in January and it was very popular. So now they're doing this YL event in March, which I signed up to be an activator. And I think Marion signed up to be an activator as well. And I feel like most of the women that are in that group are actually internationally based. I think they had much more international people than they did US people. So I have been talking about the, POTA party in that group as well. And I also shared the link to this live stream in that group to hopefully, get more people aware of the YL POTA party. And that would be, even though it's the day before that worldwide award event starts, it would be a good day for people to go out and kind of practice, get their stations ready, and, kind of gear up for that week of making contacts.
Yeah, if I could just jump in for a minute, I've had my eye on both of these events, and the Worldwide Award has been around for several years, and I noticed they did a week-long sprint in July, and I noticed they had 525 activators, and I'm sure some of those were women. But I asked ChatGPT, I know, a sketchy source, but I asked ChatGPT what percentage of hams were women, and it said 15%. And so when I took 15% of that 525, that was 79 people. And we're up to, last I looked a little while ago, we were up to 160 women worldwide in this as activators in this YL WWA. And as Shannon mentioned the Ham Radio Women Facebook group, there are more and more women promoting women around the world. I am just amazed at social media and what comes around. So there is a real energy there, women supporting women. And I think that's fantastic. I think in the end, we all just want to be good operators, right? But the community is so much a part of that. And the YL community is strong, and women tend to bond fairly quickly. And so, once we get our POTA friends, right, and that just becomes like you guys on the stream, that you become that team, you become that group. And so it's exciting to see on a whole lot of levels women in POTA hunting. I hear women operating all the time. And sometimes they're with a partner, sometimes not. Sometimes they're, male or female partner. But you hear a lot of women in the U.S., at least, on POTA. So I think women are sort of coming out in this ham radio world. And I think things like the POTA Day, like Shannon said, it builds confidence, it builds camaraderie. And then it's okay, I want to do another POTA. And then I recognize your call sign. Not too long ago, usually my husband and I operate together, and people will get used to W1BOY and W1GRL. And I was hunting from home, and I contacted this woman. I put out my call sign, and she immediately came back and said, "Oh, I know you. Is your husband around?"
Yeah, Charlotte and I heard the same when we did some activations last summer, and we've done that for quite a while. And then suddenly, where's the wife? She wasn't the wife, but still. Anyways, that was the point, and it was really nice. But I think it's really important is to also focus that to get women to activate alone, as you said, Shen, that many are mix shy or afraid to rig up themselves or stuff like that, and some of that may be preconcept or misconceptions, but I think it's really important that there is a day for this to mark that you can be out there and activate and dominate the airwaves. And it will also show so much for the hobby, that people see that there's a bunch of women over there doing radio. I think that is a really important thing to drag more people in, as opposed to a bunch of old guys standing there with radios. That will show that we are much more diverse than what most people see about ham radio. And
showing off some diversity also creates more diversity. And it is, if you look at any ham fest, it is mostly middle-aged, or I'm not going to even say it's mostly elderly men.
Yes.
When you look around, but I do notice when going to these events that I see more and more younger people, and with younger I mean around 40, and more and more women. So I think there is a change going on in ham radio, and if you look at ham radio YouTube as well, some female YouTubers have popped up in the ham radio space the last 6 to 12 months. And I think that's great because you show off more diversity in the hobby, and that again creates more diversity.
Yes. I see Ken has a very good question here. If there's a press release that we can spread to the National Ham Radio Association, that would be nice in Norway as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that when Shannon was speaking, that we need to get this out for the national bulletin for the end of the week.
Yeah, I did spread out the Facebook thing the Facebook event that was mentioned earlier in the stream. I can repost the link, but it would be very nice with something written. Do you have that, Shannon?
Yeah, I can send you guys a copy of my my flyer that I have.
That sounds good. And I can send it over to you, Ken, so you get it.
Yeah, and then we'll translate that into Norwegian and Swedish and get it out on the bulletins here. And we can see if we can post it on the league website as well. I think we should be able to get that done. That should at least spread it a little bit around where we live.
Yeah, and the league can post it on the Facebook page, and I think we have the Norwegian POTA group on Facebook. We can post it there. We should be able to get some traction on that in Norway.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely
we
appreciate
can post
that.
it on our website as well. If you have the flyer, we just put it on hamshow.eu as well. Why not?
Yeah. So that's good. How many have you had? How many participants did you have last year? Or did you keep track of that?
I don't keep track of that personally, but people do share their pictures and stories with the hashtag #WildPota Party, so you can always look at that on Facebook and Instagram. But like for example, a lot of us know Shannon KC1OHT. I think she's in the chat right now. She watches a lot of different ham radio YouTubers, and I actually found out that the first POTA that she ever did was the International Women's Day Wild POTA Party last year. And now, if you look at her, she is doing POTA like every day, either going out into a park with her husband Sean, or hunting from home. I have her in my log a number of times. So that's like makes me feel so good that she picked up on POTA because I had promoted the event, and now she is like one of the biggest POTA ladies out there. So that's the kind of thing, like if we can all just get one more person into POTA, then it can spread so far. And like if I'm sure everybody here watched Charlotte on the talk from the RSGB convention on the Women in Ham Radio, and so many things that she said on that, I was like, I have said those same exact things myself. In fact, I think if you look back at last year when I was on Live Free and Ham for the first time talking about the POTA party, I think women do sort of have a little bit of a unique position, right? Where like traditionally we're the mothers, we're the wives, we're the housekeepers. So sometimes we have a little bit of a harder time getting into ham radio, right? Because like your club meetings or your club nets are on a Wednesday night at, 6:00 in the evening. And, for me, myself, I'm getting dinner ready, or I'm getting my son ready for bed because he has school the next day. So my best time to get on the air is actually at, like 8:30 in the morning, right after I dropped him off at school. And that's why I joined, my morning net. It's called the Pokey Net. It's on 2 meters. So that's my best opportunity to get on the air. And then I'm, usually on the air from, if I'm going to do a POTA, it's from like about, maybe 9:00 in the morning until 1:00 in the afternoon. I'm free. I can go out and do a POTA, and then I go pick my son up from school. So I think, if more, women could get together that are in a similar position and, start their own, ham radio group or ham radio club, start their own POTA group, have a net that is all the moms sitting in the school pickup line and talking on their HF radios or their, 2-meter radios in the car or whatever. Because I do think that, there is a special bond between women where women can support women and, go out and do POTA together and take turns watching the kids, or, run a special station for the kids, or, take the kids over to the playground and swap off using the radio, something like that, really grow the community.
Absolutely. Well, I think the time of ham radio nets and ham radio events are not only problematic to women, but also people who are working, or parents in general, because it's mainly elderly men that are retired. We have a daily net in my club that it's at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is not a time I'm usually anywhere near a radio.
Yeah, there's some 80-meter nets that start at 9:15 or something every day as well, and that's not for the working people, to say it that way.
If you turn on 80 meters in the morning, which I sometimes have done when either working from home or have a day off, you can see that it's full of nets and it's full of retired people. So. There is a way to go in order to make the hobby fit people that actually are busy during the day.
Yeah, and also make it so that it's a like it is a friendly environment. That make sure that it's open and inclusive to everybody as well. And being able to do POTA like that, I think that could be a good thing because there will be hunters daytime as well. I've done some daytime during work time activations, and there are plenty of people. But you may also get a lot more DX then, because then people across the world are off work or whatever. So you may get some people you would never be able to hear during night or evening time in your own country. So that's nice.
Yep.
And I think POTA, the POTA party can also lead to what we have here, the state QSO parties. That I have to sort of speak up for the contesters here a little bit. That we can organize. Wouldn't it be amazing to have women's teams in some of these contests? We're seeing women go on DXpeditions, which I'm sure they probably always have been, but they're getting a lot more press these days. And so POTA is an entry point to so many other things. And if if nets turn into be your thing, that's wonderful. If contests turn into be your thing, that's wonderful. Maybe your thing changes from year to year. That's okay too. But it's a great entry point to see that, yes, the ham community really is the best community. And once you're there, it can find what fits your personality. Find what fits your time frame. Find what fits what you like to do. I really want to encourage women who are doing the YL POTA Day and any other activities, really, but especially the YL POTA Day, to do what Shannon was saying about hashtag. Put it out there. Put the pictures out there. Because not only are women sometimes hesitant, it's my husband's equipment, I don't really know how to work it. There's all these different things. We also sometimes will stay in the background. Well, there's just guys at the club, so I'm not going. And I get that. I totally get that. But putting the pictures out there, putting the stories out there, you never know what photo, what story will spark somebody to say, I can do this. Or, husband, all these women are doing this. I want to do this too. And so, I really want to encourage women to share their stories. There's so many social media outlets. Share your stories, share your pictures. And in that way, just in the sheer volume, the sheer number, right? We're going to see that diversity. We're going to see that excitement. We're going to see that, wow, they look like me and they could do it. I can do it too. So sharing and really seeing POTA as a passion for a lot of people, and also an entry point to a lot of other ways of operating radio, I think is important too.
Yeah, and I think, or I hope that you will be open to bringing in new people that are not licensed on this event, to have some friends and bring them in and just show them, like, yes, this may be slightly nerdy, but it's also a lot of fun. And if your country allows it, then allow them to operate and try like you can on a field day, because this it's a massively good way to recruit people in, and we need more women. We need younger people, whoever they are, into the hobby, and of course we need older people to come in as well. We basically need to grow, and this is such a good way to show it.
Yeah, there is a couple of comments on this. I'll see if I can get them in the right order here. Because this ADHD Live says that he suspects as the community accept diversity, it will entice younger hams. And I think more diversity will also lead to, or more gender diversity will lead to more age diversity in the ham radio group. Just showing that it is not only elderly bald men talking about anything but ham radio at a club meeting. Sorry, Bob. Sorry, Kjetil. Sorry again, but yeah. Let's see here. And then Bob said that he's retired and 71 years young, but he's never thought about himself as being elderly. And I am not necessarily saying that. I think I got off a little bit wrong there, but the point is it can be scary for both women and younger hams when you walk into any club meeting. When you look at the both the lack of diversity regarding age and gender there, basically. So it's not you're not a bad ham if you're retired, but we need the diversity in the hobby.
Yeah, and I think you're right,
so-
Morten. I vividly remember as a young ham, like a few decades ago, joining amateur radio TV meeting in Munich, and yeah, just walking in there, green behind the ears. It was an odd feeling. Yeah.
Mhm.
Of
Yep.
course, everybody is perfectly nice and friendly, but you're wondering, is this the right place for me? Am I at the right location? Am I not, annoying these guys who probably want to drink a few beers and talk about whatever they talk about?
Everything was
I
a lot
really
better
vividly
before.
remember that. Yeah, so I completely get it that this is a hurdle to.
Yep.
I know that meeting.
overcome.
I've been there. Yeah. Well,
Espen asked, what's the average age at the LoRa talk? I'm going to guesstimate here and say that it was about 70 years old.
Yeah.
I would go a little bit younger for that particular talk. I'd go a little bit younger. I'd say 65.
there
I'd
was
say
a couple
60.
of people taking the average age down, but
Yeah.
But on
You
the
can
other
also
hand, you cannot really. I mean, age is age, but the age is also in your head. Yeah. So I met people who are age-wise elder, but mentally much younger than I am. Yeah, and vice versa. Yeah. So hi,
Yeah.
Bob.
But you can also
No,
say
just
that
kidding.
on the ham meeting there were quite a lot of women walking around, more than last year. Even one carrying around a quite fresh baby there as well, who got very much lots of good input from a young age. You can say that, like, this is radio, this is radio, this is radio.
imagine if I was a ham when I had my kids in the stroller. How much equipment could I bring with me then?
Like, you hold this. No,
These things are built like tanks. You can put a few radios, put the kid on top and the radio below, right?
I'll give you a hint.
Good thinking.
There's storage space underneath where the kid is. So
Exactly.
Not
you
for the
can bring a
battery.
lot of
Not
gear.
for the battery.
Yeah. So I think that was really positive to see, at least, and so I think so. But I think we're going into the right direction, at least.
Yep, absolutely. And I just want to, we're passing the hour mark here now. So I just want to say thank you to Marion and Shannon here for being on and talking about this, and see if we can do our little bit and changing ham radio a little bit and having it being a more diverse hobby. And
yeah,
also-
and like you had mentioned about the YouTubers, like there's a few new ham radio women YouTubers popping up, and I think there's maybe about 5 or 6 now, compared to all the men ham radio YouTubers. So it is kind of still a little bit of a smaller amount. But like Marion was saying, even if, just by having one person going out there and showing that they are a woman and that they're active in ham radio, and that, you too can come on the air and be active, then I think I've done my job if I've helped to inspire even just one person to become more active on the radio. And, like Marion said too, and like you guys were saying, the more diversity there is, then it will inspire more diversity. So I always say you have to be the activity that you want to hear, right? So if we just sit back and say, well, there's no women on the radio, so I don't want to get on the radio, then every woman is going to do that, and there's never going to be any women on the radio. So if we inspire ourselves to get out there and get on the air, then hopefully that will inspire other women to also get out there and get on the air.
Yeah, if I could just add to that, Shannon just reminded me of all those years that I watched my husband, who has stayed passionate about ham radio. And we're close, and it's like, oh, what are you doing? Maybe I want to do that. And yeah, it was all men. I wasn't that much into technology. I didn't understand it. And so it felt like I was separate from the ham radio community, asking myself, do I want to be a part of this? And I remember in January 2024, I just said, this is it. I'm doing it. I'm jumping in the deep end. I'm doing it. And I changed the way I thought about it. Not does the ham radio community, is that a place for me? I switched to, I am the ham radio community, and we are in this together. And I remember saying to my friend Kevin Thomas, I am a ham radio operator, and the community's just going to have to deal with me if they don't like it. Now, I've been an assertive woman all my life, so that's not, but it was a shift in identity, and like you guys inviting women on the stream, promoting women's things, right? It's adding to this sense where it's not that the community is a separate bubble and do I want to get into it? No, I'm in it. I'm a part of the bubble. And we're in this together, and we're working together. And so I think the more that women will take on that identity, ham radio is my lifestyle. It's pretty much everything I do in one way or another. And so we say, I'm here. Now, how can we work together to make this better, right? We're all in this together now. How can we make it better? So I think even you guys having female faces, having Charlotte, miss you, Charlotte, love you, Charlotte, having us on here, it makes a difference, right? I think it makes a difference. So you are doing your part. And of course, I know you'll continue, but you are doing your part so that women will say, it's not if I want to be a ham radio, it's I am an operator. I am a ham radio operator. And now we're in the community, and now let's make it better and stronger.
Well said, Marion. So women, get out there on March 8th, set up your POTA stations and activate and make this a fantastic event. And don't stop activating after March 8th. Don't stop doing ham radio after March 8th. There's room for everyone in the ham radio community. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. And on that bombshell, I think it's time to say 73 to all. We're a bit on overtime here. So thanks, guys, for being on.
Maybe a final stray thought before we end the stream. I'm trying to be coherent and contribute here after half a day at the airport. So I think the reason why sometimes the community can be a bit intimidating is that, historically it was all, engineers who got their ham radio license, and they sometimes have the tendency to think they know best, but maybe they know best, but maybe they are not the best communicators, it really doesn't help to tell people you do it all wrong, smarten up, do a college degree and come back in 10 years, what does that achieve? Nothing at all. So I think it's good that we just embrace the diversity, and what you said earlier, that sometimes it's not about radio and that the antenna is matched perfectly and that you make all the DX contacts. It's about meeting people who are curious and have a common interest in technology in the broadest scope. We talk about clocks and about knitting and about 3D printing and God knows what. And this brings us all together, and everybody has a passion, and the ham radio is also a big part of it, and that's what makes it fun to be in this community.
Oh, absolutely. Well said, Tobias. And I'm going to end with a quote from our friend George, KJ6VU. Your ham radio might not be my ham radio, but it's still ham radio.
True.
And on that note, I'm going to try to... George is going to be on in 2 weeks, by the way. And next week is our Germany show. We're going to talk about our trip to Germany, and we still have spaces left. Check out hamshow.eu for more info on that. And 7-3 all.
7-3.
Sorry for that heavy comment at the end. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.